Hey, Brian Parker here with another exciting video. This week is going to be, let's look at the law firms. And I'm going to look at a couple of law firms that are prevalent in many states. The first one's going to be Mandarich Law Group. They handle a lot of, I think one of their clients is JP Morgan. They're very protecting of JP Morgan cases. They really get serious with you. So I've got a JP Morgan video, I think, with them on my membership website, collectionstoppersolutions.com. As serious as they are about protecting that client, they seem to go the opposite way with their debt buyer clients, as I'll give you my experience handling. This is from my years of working with Mandarich Law Group in couple states. And it's just my opinion and experience, and I hope you can use it to your benefit. I'm going to show you how you can do that. So, hey, we're moving up in the world. We've got a sponsor. So I'm not getting money for this. This is getting sponsored. I'm just going to give it to you, and I don't generally do this. The video is sponsored by the fine folks at gettyweb.com. They can build you a website, fix the one you started but got too busy to finish, or maintain your current website. They recognize your genius maybe in other areas. Let gettyweb.com use their genius on your website so you can get back to work. That's what we all want to do. You want to screw around with a website, and apparently these guys will take care of you. So they say, partner up with the new IT support staff at gettyweb.com. You go to work on what you do best, and we'll handle the rest. gettyweb.com. All right, so there you go. Let's get serious. Mandarich Law Group. You can go to see them, and I'll give them a plug, mandarichlaw.com. And on their about, there's a big map they have of all the states that they represent. Cindy, put that on there for the fine folks. And that is where Mandarich is saying they represent either creditors. Their website says they only represent creditors, but they represent, in my estimation, at least 50-50 debt buyers and creditors. That may be just their spin on saying they own the debt, therefore they're creditors, so you can't come after us for under the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, which in most cases isn't, the FDCPA isn't regulating creditors, but we've gone into that. So they claim, we understand that dealing with debt can be tough. Your goal is to work. Our goal is to work with you. I'm good at reading, right? Our goal is to work with you and our creditor clients. There you go. They don't mention debt buying clients. To find a fair and agreeable debt collection solution. We strive to maintain a respectful relationship with you throughout the correct collection process and are committed to the highest standards of compliance. Please call us if you have any questions. So I want to focus on that last part there, their commitment to the highest standards of compliance. That may be true as far as following the law, but I'm going to give you my opinion experience in dealing with Mandarich, which will bear right into how you can get out of a Mandarich lawsuit. So, as I said, they're in different states. They handle a lot of debt buy cases. I see them mostly in Florida. I think it's LVNV funding, and I think absolute resolutions. In Michigan, it's either JP Morgan Chase 10% of the time, and a lot of Calvary. In fact, there's a lot of Calvary cases that they are litigating now, and I'm going to show you how to beat them by their own incompetence. So when I say the word incompetence, it's my opinion, and I will tell you what my opinion is. They're stretched far too thin, and they do not have enough attorney coverage to meet the goals of their clients. The attorneys are generally underexperienced and overwhelmed. I've had cases where they just don't even show up for court. I can't imagine not showing up for court unless it's something serious or somebody screwed up with a notice. That happens, but this happens too much for this to be an accident. One guy I work with over there is never on top of anything, has no clue about his cases, and costs Mandarich a lot of money, in my opinion, as he seems to blow everything off, yet he keeps his job. So I'm going to give you an example of what happened in my interactions with them. The purpose of everything I'm telling you today is so you can do better in your response to them. So we've been introducing back a new fellow that shows up, Problem Parker. He's a nudge, he's a pest, he finds your weaknesses and he focuses on that. That's what Problem Parker does. I want you to be Problem Parker. So I'm going to tell you the story of what happened to me. It didn't happen to me. I'm telling you what the interactions that happened that can benefit you. This is a good guy. He was working over there. He leaves. He gets replaced by, and he's got a nice system set up. He's in a certain state on his own, handling the whole state for Mandarich. He leaves, and Attorney A shows up. She looks around, doesn't want to, something's going on over there, so she leaves. Now, remember the expression, for the want of a nail, the kingdom was lost. This will apply in what I'm going to tell you and how you're going to beat a Mandarich lawsuit. When an attorney leaves an office, it's incumbent upon that office to send out notice to every court that that attorney was in that she is no longer on the file. Here's the alternative. And it makes sense, because if the court thinks Attorney A is on the file and Attorney B is, and possibly in a different location, all the notices are going to go to Attorney A, either at her new address or a new job. And she doesn't have to do a thing, by the way. She is not obligated to contact Mandarich, and this is all true, and say, hey, you keep sending these notices. You've got a case coming up on February 15th. She's not obligated to do that. She's probably too busy and maybe doesn't want to. It's up to her. For the want of a nail, the kingdom was lost. All Mandarich has to do is click, 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 and send out all these notices to the courts. So the new attorney replacing Attorney A gets notice and people show up. So I'm noticing a lot of people not showing up in Mandarich. I had one case. It got so bad, the attorney blew everything off, and I don't know who was on notice because they didn't send out the proper notices. But Attorney A left. Mandarich did not send out that notice. So Attorney A went to another state, and her state bar address is the new address in the other state. She is getting notices to show up at pretrials and motions on cases she no longer is working. She is not duty-bound to send Mandarich this notice so they can put it in their file. Mandarich did not make the necessary and easy change. Attorney B came on board and started getting calls from courts asking Attorney B where Attorney A is, because he had the same phone number. This goes on for months. Attorney B, not only is he doing and handling his job, he's having to deal with management that's screaming at him for these things that are not his fault. While he's also doing his job, he's also having to deal with the support staff that doesn't want to work with him because he's trying to get them to work. He gets tons of crap for not showing up. He's not doing the right thing. He tries to explain to the clients what's going on, but he's got to be careful. He doesn't want to lose the client for his employer. So he's getting squeezed from both ends. From courts, from his employer, who thinks he should fix everything that wasn't his before he got there. He gets tired of it, so he leaves. Now the notices are still going out to Attorney A, but it's also going to Attorney B. All the court knows is pretrial. And the new attorney, Attorney C, walks into a continuing buildup in cases that are now being defaulted, and the current attorney is overwhelmed and never gets back to people and is mostly clueless about his cases. Any kind of push in litigation sends him reeling. That happened. Point being, this is what's going on. If you are in a weak place where you are victimized, a debt collector will take advantage of that. You're in a good place with Mandarich right now. They're out of the loop. My opinion is they're not on top of stuff. So get on top of them. Just be a problem Parker. Keep pushing with your case. They'll blow you off and things will get missed by them. Send them things that require deadlines. Request to admits is a good one to send. A motion, a deposition, something where they have to show up. they're probably not going to, and the court, and I've had it, where the court says, I'm defaulting them. And that happens. So when I first started litigating with them, they came out with a certain kind of lawsuit. Let's put it up. I don't know if you're going to see it in your state. Like I said, they're in like 18 states. So Cindy, put up the first kind of complaint. That's the first page, Shazam. And you can see, let's focus on 3, Cindy. Blow it up for the fine folks. That is plaintiff, and that would be Calvary, has purchased certain accounts from Capital One. Defendants obligated on one of these accounts, as more specifically described below, the account was duly assigned in the normal course of business. Now, I see that in a lot of debt collector complaints. The account was duly assigned in the normal course of business. My first question is, what does duly assigned in the normal course of business mean to anyone? And why not just say when and where and how? They don't even refer to a specific assignment. You'll see in my answers, I'll go blah, 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 see Exhibit 1. That's supporting what you say. They don't support what they say. And there's a reason behind that. Plaintiff and number 5, plaintiff and its assigner completed performance under the terms and conditions of the account. It's a contract, it's not an account. There are no terms and conditions of an account. I really don't care about this complaint, but this was their initial complaint. And then number 7, they're telling you Calvary SPV is an assignee of Capital One Bank and how much the person owes. So I got my client out of all $14,000. He did okay. He did good. And I want to put up the bill of sale, Shazam. This is the first type of complaint I started seeing. And you can see I've written the word extensions and I've circled. And that is where, so first look at the first sentence. Capital One is in consideration of purchase price, blah, 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 for good and valuable consideration. Okay, sure. And it's delivered, third paragraph, in accordance with the terms of that certain master accounts sale agreement. That is your forward flow agreement. You want that. You specifically want it from Mandarich because they don't know how to handle that and it just screws everything up for them. So go to the third page, page 3, I've got it circled, Shazam, and you can see that they are missing extension. So that extension, that separate piece of paper is already hearsay. However, if you have got the correct extension, then you are correctly saying, the debt collector is correctly saying, at least I have the right extension and I have the right file, maybe. So mission extension is, as I've used it in the past, if you wanted to write, email me, it'd be brianparker@collectionstopper.com. If it's brianparker@collectionstopper.net, I won't hear from you. And that is why that agreement, the assignment's already fraught with problems, but to claim that the debt is inside something where you have messed up, there's no accidents, okay? There's no accidents in debt collection. So that's an example of how, I just want to throw it in there, focus on the forward flow agreement and the data extensions. I say that, I've done videos on it, I still don't feel comfortable that you all are understanding that. Meaning, in a debt collection concept. I know you're generally smarter than I am, but don't blow this off. So where am I going with this? The new complaint that I'm seeing constantly, and by the way, when I answered the new complaint, I've settled that case and got the debt eliminated 9 times out of 10 within 14 days. That's, for whatever reason. First of all, in the industry, I'm known as a real pain in the A, and a nudge and a problem parker, and it's they have a machine. I'm a spanner in the works, as they say in England, so they want to get rid of me. And that works. Be a problem parker. Sometimes they'll take me on just to mess me around. They'll end up costing them a lot of money. So here's their new complaint. So I showed you the first one. Let Cindy put that first one page up there. Shazam. Now put the second complaint, and I've titled it paragraph 3. There's a reason. Put that next to it. Shazam. Make sure we can all read it. Now look at emphasize paragraph 3 of the new complaint. Shazam. And that says that on 5/24/2008, this is actually, that's interesting. 16 years later, on 24, this lawsuit is filed. Even though this says that on 5/24/2008, plaintiff, which is Calvary, entered into a credit agreement with defendant. Not possible. Let me repeat that. Plaintiff entered into a credit agreement with defendant in 2008. Well, Calvary wasn't around at this time. They were only around when a debt is defaulted and not paid and delinquent and then charged off. Then Calvary, a debt buyer, not a creditor, comes along. So you won this case because it's not true. No plaintiff, Calvary, did not enter. And then put on paragraph 9, Cindy, of the new complaint, Shazam. And that's them saying Calvary is as an assignee of Citibank. Well, which is it? Are you the creditor, where you made the original agreement? Or are you the assignee, which they're not because they have no proof? So let's give them the proof that they claim and also contradicts their own lawsuit. The bill of sale and assignment on this complaint, Cindy, Shazam. And we have a couple of old friends. We have we have Lynn Fisher, who signs a lot of these things, and we have Brandy Reardon, who signs for Citibank a lot, supposedly out of Sioux Falls, even though this is Michigan. And look at that signature first. Go find other Citibank bill and sales of assignments. Below that word, bill of sale and assignment, is Costco Fresh Flow Accounts. That's the forward flow agreement. It's actually called Master Purchase and Sale Agreement. Get some. You got to go get that. They hate you when you ask for that, and they won't give it up to you. Case settles. But look at that signature. That, to me, is very interesting compared to other Citibank bill of sale and assignments. It's not dated, and it's claiming that that person is an authorized party. That's not good enough. You have to show why you're authorized. In other words, Citibank would give you an authority saying, Brandy Reardon is assigned and authorized to sign these bill of assignment. You can't just do this and it's undated, so that doesn't work. It's total hearsay. They say, go look at Exhibit 1 if you don't believe us that this bill of sale has the debt. You look at Exhibit 1, Shazam, Exhibit 1, there's nothing about the client or an identifying file that would lead you to believe that that's the actual debt of yours, or if you're an attorney, of your client. So they attach a third thing. They don't identify it. And I've Shazam, Cindy, and they don't have, I've got rid of all the personal stuff. But that's no good unless you have a written signature certified that shows it's inside the bill of sale and assignment. And they won't have that because it screws up the machine. You're the spanner in the wrench. Let's put up another one. That one is for, that's a new one. It's $37,000. I'm going to get that taken care of. And then put up a new one, number 3, paragraph 3 plus 9, Cindy, Shazam. And the first page. And again, it's that paragraph 3, plaintiff entered a credit card agreement, and this one's in 2009, although the lawsuit was signed on 23. It's an impossibility that Calvary, the plaintiff, can be part of the credit card agreement. They'd be a creditor, and again, their paragraph 9 says they got the debt from Citibank. And there's your old friend again. Look at the bill of sale and assignment, Shazam. It mentions the master purchase and sale agreement. That's your forward flow agreement. Go for that. And there's Brandy's signature again. And no date, no authorization. Exhibit 1, Shazam. And no identification of the client in that. What's my point? You've got all these ways of winning these cases. and I have this expression that I may have used 150,000 times before. What is it? What is it? That's right. Use their documents against them. So that's why you're using and their pleadings. That's their document. So put that in your counter affidavit, which I have done for you on my membership website, collectionstoppersolutions.com. I'm trying to do paperwork at the same time. I've got it on my website, a Word template for you to do. Take that lawsuit and nail it. So look at the counter affidavits, put it up, Cindy, Shazam. In your counter affidavit, you say what you just saw. So if you want, look at the counter affidavit is how you take notes. As I always tell you, pull apart the lawsuit, find the flaws, and take notes. In fact, I've got put this up there, Cindy. I've got a free PDF video on how to do a counter affidavit with a place to do notes, yada, yada. So this is how we do this. First page, Cindy, of the affidavit, and look at number 5. Further, Calvary is claiming to be the original creditor in paragraph 3 of the complaint, and that's plaintiff entered into a credit card agreement with defendant. Impossible, unless if Superman turns the globe around, maybe. And then I say, while also claiming it received the debt from Citibank. I took the pleadings of Mandarich and dropped it into your counter affidavit. Now you're off and running. You've got this nice counter affidavit. Where does this end up? Excuse me. It follows you all the way to the answer. That's right. I've got the answer. And if you go to the answer, Cindy, look at the answer that says with AD new. And go to the second page for the folks and put it up. Shazam. Look at what I did. I took the counter affidavit and I dropped into the answer. I got it all for you right there. Once you sign that counter affidavit, once you write it, it follows you and writes your answer and your counterclaim. And there's on that page what I just said, what came from the lawsuit. And if you turn over to Cindy, go to page 3 of that deal and put it right next to that page 2, Shazam. There's the bill of sale and assignment. There's the exhibit 1. You're pointing out all this stuff that they did wrong from your counter affidavit, or if it doesn't apply in your counter affidavit, but you can still use it in your answer. So use that. Now, when I said with AD new, I've started doing something for you. And Cindy, oh, by the way, go to the affirmative defenses, Cindy. So Cindy, look at affirmative defenses, then go to the next page because it's not numbered. And look at number 4, let's put it up, Shazam page. And there you go. Your counter affidavit is dropped into the affirmative defenses. You've put their bad pleading that's nonsensical and impossible right into your pleadings, and you've got a thing there. Exhibit 1, Exhibit 2, Exhibit 3, depending on what you're referring to. But I want to give you new stuff. Hot off the presses. Ooh, it's still hot. Look at, Cindy, put up number 17, Shazam. That's going in my affidavits now that I give you. That's going in my answers. That's going on my counterclaims. It's cases from other states. I'm trying to make it general for everybody. Those are great cases talking about assignments, talking about signatures on extra extended excerpts and pieces of paper. Use those 3 cases there. They're good. You can also use Michigan cases. You can use federal cases. But I threw in a couple for you on the affirmative defenses. I'm juggling 6 things here. So speaking of counterclaim, I got a counterclaim for you. So I'm going to give that to you. All this stuff's on Word. So I'm giving you that counterclaim. And it was the counterclaim that I filed against Mandarich and against Calvary with that extension one. I just feel a little uncomfortable that it's a little harder to get a grip on. So look at page 2 of the affidavit. Shazam. There's the bill of sale. It came from the counter affidavit, and there's the extension. And this is for you, as I'm telling the court, and this is for your explanation. I say, here is the bill of sale. I put the bill of sale. And then I say, because they refer to electronic files in these documents with the file extensions. I say electronic files are not assignments. The actual data file attached to the lawsuit that Mandarich and Calvary claim contains the subject debt here is the following data file. Then now say, okay, so go to the next page. Cindy, Shazam. The court can see that the data extension is not the same file extension, meaning the debt is not in the data files represented by plaintiff here. Further, and supported by the few documents and false data files above, there are no assignments from the ABS to the servicer. So you've got yourself a counterclaim in Word, you've got yourself an answer in Word, you've got yourself a counter affidavit in Word, all attached to this video on my membership website, Collection Stopper Solutions. I'll put on those 3 complaints I just referred to, so you can see if it looks like something you're used to or see. You'll have my show notes, which I'm looking at right now. They're okay, but I don't know if they may help you. I'll put them up there, included on my collectionstoppersolutions.com membership site with this video. But I really want to emphasize, law firms go through changes, and this law firm, Mandarich Law Group, appears to be stretched too thin on my experience and opinion. So if you keep up the onslaught, if you keep filing things, if you keep asking for forward flow agreements generally, but do it to this firm, the attorneys, in my experience, can't keep up. They've got too much work from the attorney before them and the attorney before them, and notices don't get filed. I don't see them responding to anything properly in my experience. Take advantage of that. And by the way, because you're not represented, they're going to pay even less attention to you. Think about the fun you can have. And you can take this to court and go, Your Honor, I've done this, here's my email. They've just completely blown me off. It works. Judges don't like that. And because you're not represented, they're going to give you some slack anyway. So if an attorney's not doing at least a minimum amount of work, it will benefit you. Please be a problem parker. Again, this is brought to you by the fine folks at gettyweb.com. Check out the membership, collectionstoppersolutions.com. For every video on Mandarich and Calvary and PRA, remember the $24 million PRA one I did last week? That's a good one. Let's put that up. Zoom. You are going to be so happy and helped by going to collectionstoppersolutions.com. I'm plugging away because it is good. Everyone talks about, oh my God, why am I charge a little something, but it's probably 8% of what an attorney is going to charge you. And it's everything you need there. And you can, if your case or debt buyer isn't there, use the other 15 that are on there. It's all the same crap, okay? This is more detailed on how to handle Mandarich Law Firm today. Again, my opinion and my experience, many years. Get them while they're weak. They take advantage of you, so you go get them. If you like what I did today, like, love, subscribe. Just click something for me, and I'll keep doing it. Let's rock and roll. Thank you.